Big 12 athletic directors target Texas Tech in one of the staple traditions of Texas Tech football. In today's video, we'll discuss exactly what that means for Texas Tech, Kirby Hocutt standing on business, and why, well, they targeted Texas Tech. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome into the Red and Black Report. I am your host, RC Maxfield, and this is just lousy shit by Big 12 ADs, and we'll talk about it here in a minute. But if you're on Kirby Hocutt's side, and I know you will be after I explain exactly what's going on here, I want you to go down to the comments and type hashtag 15-1. You may be wondering to yourself, RC, what's 15-1? I'm glad you asked. On your screen is a Ross Dellinger report where Big 12 ADs this week in Dallas voted 15-1 to solidify an existing game management policy related to throwing items onto the playing surface, a source tells Yahoo Sports. By the way, this source is clearly one of the ADs. I don't know which one it is, but it's clearly one of the ADs. Anyway, a team will receive warnings for the first two violations in a game before a 15-yard penalties would begin. He goes on to say, the move most impacts Texas Tech, which fans hold a tradition of tossing tortillas onto the field, most notably during the opening kickoff. The policy will allow the tortillas to be thrown at opening kickoff, but will result in a warning. A third incident may result in a penalty. Listen, I get it. It's, you get two strikes and then on the third one, you're out. But also, this feels very targeted. And I know there's going to be some people in the comments saying, well, this is because you don't want water bottles thrown onto the field or anything like that. This is because of what y'all did against Colorado. It was tortillas at the end of the day. With my own eyes, I saw a Colorado fan throw a water bottle onto the field at the Texas Tech Colorado game last year, right? Like, I am by no means saying Texas Tech fans are perfect. Nobody's fan base is. But it feels targeted in sense of the tradition. I understand from the standpoint of, okay, you get a couple times. I really do. But this feels targeted. And the tradition is in jeopardy in the sense that I still think it's happening, but the Red Raiders are going to have to get creative a little bit. Kirby Hocutt actually went to the mic after Joey McGuire, Sheil Wood, and Mac Leftwich had their press conference for the week leading up to scrimmage number 2 for the Red Raiders. And Kirby Hocutt said that he was blindsided not by the vote because he felt like this was going to happen, but he was blindsided that somebody in the room clearly let this leak out to Ross Dellinger, and he gave credit to Ross Dellinger in the sense that, hey, he did the right thing. Like, it's his job to report on that, but he was more mad at whoever let it leak from the room. That being said, there was some back and forth here apparently in the room, according to Kirby Hocutt, in the sense of the 15-1 vote indicates, hey, it may have been a clean sweep if Kirby Hocutt wasn't there. And again, he was the one vote. But this is one of those deals where it's like, okay, what is college football most known for? And before I get into that, I think it's important to do this. I understand player safety. I truly do. I really do. And I think that player safety and really you shouldn't be throwing anything onto the field in terms of water bottles, yada, 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 right? But tortillas? What are we doing here, right? Like, this is a tradition that spans, multiple decades for Texas Tech. And what is arguably the most important aspect of collegiate athletics? It's traditions. So why are we trying to limit them? And again, it's not a tradition to throw a water bottle onto the field. No one's saying that. And if somebody is, they're wrong. And I also know somebody will be like, oh, well, y'all throw batteries onto the field. That is one of the dumbest fucking shit things that anybody's ever made up against Texas Tech. But I digress. Sorry, I'm literally passionate about this. It feels targeted in the sense that college football is arguably the most tradition-rich sport we have in America, right? It's right up there with baseball in that sense. And I think when you try and limit that, specifically in this case for Texas Tech, obviously I'm close to the sun here. And in the sense that I'm a Texas Tech grad. I love this tradition, and you probably do too watching this if you're a part of Red Raider Nation. But it feels like it was an attack aspect of it from this standpoint. Traditions are vital for college athletics, And they knew that Texas Tech had this time-honored tradition of tossing tortillas at the opening kickoff. Now, granted, they did put the aspect of, hey, it'll be a warning the first 2 times, but there's also the fact that if the refs feel like player safety is involved here, okay, they can pull, guys off the field. I feel like leaving this open to interpretation from a ref could get to be a slippery slope. Because if they feel jaded or somebody in the crowd is letting them have it for a bad call and there's a tortilla thrown onto the field, they're going to be like, nope, that's it. And it's going to give Texas Tech a bad look. Okay? Throwing tortillas onto the field for kickoff and after any kickoff where Texas Tech scores, albeit most notably at the opening kickoff, they do so after other kickoffs as well, most notably at the opening kickoff, though. I think it just limits what traditions are. And again, I understand this is a very, very singled out aspect of it. But it's also funny hearing Kirby Hocutt talk about this and what people were saying in the room, and you could tell that he was navigating things there quite well, I might add. Again, Texas Tech has one of the best ADs in the country. There was a joke that he said that he's going to make sure that every AD that comes to Lubbock, Texas this year has some fresh, warm tortillas in their suite. Rightfully so. Again, this is just one of those deals where maybe it's me, and please call me out if I'm wrong here. I will happily be, able to admit, hey, RC, you're overreacting on this. But it feels targeted a little bit. And again, it doesn't completely negate the tradition itself, but I think it does put it in jeopardy because now you have to be cognizant of it if you are Texas Tech. And now you're relying on fans that, again, want to go to the game for these traditions. And these players want to come to this school because of these said traditions and the environment that Jones AT&T Stadium has. Now you're limiting that. And that's something that I think a lot of people will probably not look at. A lot of people will say, oh, well, yeah, it's stupid y'all throw stuff onto the field. It's a tradition, man. A lot of these schools' traditions, and I'm not saying this one by Texas Tech is, because obviously I love it, but there's a lot of traditions in college football where you look at them and you're like, that's really weird. I mean, there's some in college basketball too. I mean, there's a D3 school that once they score a certain amount of points on a certain night, they throw an inordinate amount of toilet paper onto the field. I mean, Auburn throws toilet papers over a tree after they win. I mean, there's so many nuanced traditions in college football, and I get it. Some of them don't involve throwing something onto the field. I truly understand that, but we're talking about a tortilla here. If we were talking about glass bottles, yeah, we wouldn't be doing it. But it just feels targeted from that aspect. And again, maybe I'm just going on a tangent here from my perspective, but I love Kirby Hocutt standing on business. I love the fact that there is a really good creative team for Texas Tech athletics, finding ways to navigate this after a 15-1 vote from the other ADs in the conference, unanimously, if you take Kirby Hocutt out of it, voting against Texas Tech to really continue a time-honored tradition without the potential of repercussions. And again, in the modern college landscape where there's conference realignment, traditions are going left and right because of big new media, whether that's ESPN buying up every conference left and right or CBS buying every conference up left and right. Like, traditions are going to the wayside. And I don't know about you, but college football, one of the aspects of it that really truly made me fall in love with this sport was the unique traditions, whether it was my time growing up in Arkansas, hearing the pigs called, whether it was Texas Tech and the tortillas, right? Whether it was, the Enter the Sandman out in West Virginia, right? Like the swamp, the chomp. There's so many things that are unique traditions around college football. It just feels like a slippery slope in terms of what you can and can't do from a tradition front. And I also understand that someone will say, none of those throw it onto the field. Like I said earlier, well, okay, it's at kickoff, dude. It's a tortilla, right? Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? It feels so targeted, in my opinion. And I had to make a video about just going out and letting my thoughts spew. But again, like I said, if you agree or disagree with me, let me know down in the comments below. But I'll tell you this, if you love Kirby Hocutt standing on business, because I think that's what he did here. Truly do. I think he's arguably the best AD in the country. All I want you to do is down in the comments, type hashtag 15-1. This is going to be a rallying cry. I think all year long in the most important season for Texas Tech football, this is going to be a rallying cry. And I would not be surprised if we see some t-shirts made. Some of the coaches use this. This feels like it may not be levels of the cactus emoji on Twitter, but it may be pretty close to it. We'll see what happens. But let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with my thoughts. And while you're down there, be sure to like the video and hit that subscribe button to join the largest group of Texas Tech fans here on YouTube, almost 12,500 strong. Y'all are absolutely phenomenal. I appreciate each and every one of y'all taking time out of y'all's day to listen to me yap. Honestly, that's what it comes down to. So I appreciate y'all. But again, I'm RC Maxfield for the Red and Black Report, reminding you, as always, to stay safe and wreck 'em Tech, damn it. Throw those tortillas.